Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for joining me in the card closet for another episode. Going to be a quick little video tonight. I want to share an eBay tip that I learned recently that possibly might be of benefit for you to know about. But first, let's get into our mystery card of the day. So, being episode number 451, today's mystery man had 451 career doubles. Let's see if you can figure out who he is. So if you consider 1986 to be the beginning of the junk wax era, he is a junk wax rookie. His rookie cards being 1986 Donruss, which was a rated rookie card, and 1986 Fleer, which was a Major League Prospect card that he shares with Cal Daniels. He wrote an autobiography, and it's called Me and My Dad. He grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and was a big fan of the Big Red Machine, Cincinnati Reds, growing up, and was absolutely thrilled in 1981 when he was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. He made his Major League debut late in the 1985 season and would play 8 seasons with the Reds. And then he was absolutely heartbroken to be traded to the New York Yankees, where he would play 9 seasons for 17 years total. He won 1 World Series championship with the Reds. He won 4 World Series championships with the Yankees. There aren't a lot of modern players with 5 World Series championships, but he is one of them. The only thing he ever led the league in was batting. He was the American League batting champion in the strike-shortened 1994 season. He is the only person in history to be on the winning side of 3 perfect games. Tom Browning, David Wells, and David Cone. And later in his career, Mike Messina had a perfect game going with 2 outs in the 8th, but a single broke it up. So he was 1 out away from being a part of 4 perfect games. Do you know who he is? He was a 5-time All-Star, played right field his whole career. His stat lines are around 1,000 runs, 2,100 hits, 281 home runs, 1,200 RBIs, and a .288 batting average. You probably got him. Mr. Paul O'Neill. Here he is in his 1989 Topps card with the Reds. I think that trade to the Yankees ended up being the best thing that ever could have happened to him. And he did say later that it did. He was might have been heartbroken at first, but was thrilled with the outcome later in his career. Okay, so eBay. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about eBay, and specifically the phenomenon which is resellers on eBay. And so let me just clarify, I am not talking about resellers like Greg Morris. I'm not talking about resellers like Chasing Cardboard. I'm not talking about consignment companies in any way. Those companies do add a benefit to the world. They go out and track down collections or receive collections that otherwise would not be on the open market. They get a hold of them and they put them up on eBay so that those of us that don't want to travel around digging in basements all around the country or attics have access to these cards. So they are doing us a tremendous service. What I'm talking about, and I'm sure if you are a card buyer for any length of time, you're aware of you've run into this. I'm talking about people out there who will buy a card on eBay and then they will immediately relist it at a higher price. I'm sure you've all seen that. To me, that's a different kind of reseller because they're not bringing anything new to the market. They are driven 100% by profit. The net result of them is no additional cards on the market And the cards that they have that are on the market are now double, triple, quadruple the price for us collectors. So that's the kind of people that I'm talking about. Dare I say, they're in it for greed. So anyway, let me tell you a little story. So this card right here, 1921, American Caramel of Eddie Foster. I love these caramel cards, all gunked up with caramel stains. I just picture some little kid chewing the caramel and looking at this card at the same time over 100 years ago. So I put a bid on the, this card was listed for $100, and not a bad price, but you know, for a one, I thought I could get a better price. So they had a or best offer. So I offered $75, and it was rejected. So a couple hours later, I thought, well, I'll up it to $80. So I did another best offer on this card for $80, and I got a message that the seller was not accepting bids or offers from me. So based on my first $75 offer, they had blocked me. And so that was a little bit disappointing. A couple days pass. I've still got it, you know, in my cart on eBay, and I realized or kind of remembered that I've got a second eBay account. And the whole story behind why I have a second eBay account, I'll have to share sometime. It's an interesting story for another day. But I figured, okay, a couple days have passed. The seller isn't going to know it's me. So I used my other eBay account, made the same offer that I had made with my main eBay account. But in the notes of the offer, I added two little sentences. I am not a reseller. This card will stay in my collection. The offer was accepted in 30 minutes. So the only difference is that I put those two lines on my offer. Another thing that's different is one account has way more feedback than the other. So that's something that the seller could have seen too. And so for that seller, I believe it made a difference knowing that I wasn't a reseller, that I was going to keep the card. I think most people that have cards for sale would agree and probably feel the same way as me, that if there's profit to be made on this card, you want that profit. You don't want to give it a low price to a reseller who's then going to turn around and make the profit for themselves. So that's the story. I ended up picking this up for the same offer just by putting those two simple lines. Coincidence? I don't know. After that, I tried it with a couple more cards. These are lesser cards. This is a 2005 Topps Chrome Red X-Fractor, Edgar Renteria. I made an offer that was about 70% of the buy now price, and I did the same thing with this 2002 Topps Chrome Gold Refractor of National League batting champion Freddie Sanchez. Same two lines. I am not a reseller. This card will remain in my collection, and both of them were accepted. Again, smaller scale than this one, but I'm 3 for 3. And usually my or best offer batting average is under 500, I would say, because I like to just throw out offers and see if some negotiation can happen. So anyway, that's one way I've found potentially to get deals on cards from sellers who are not wanting to lose money to a reseller. So give it a try. See if it works for you. Let me know in the comments if you think it's just a coincidence for me, or if you think maybe there's something to it. Potentially resellers themselves start figuring this out too, but they'll get caught, because a lot of times you'll see that card that they buy, or they outbid you on a card, and later that night or the next day it's already relisted by them for sale again with a much higher price. So they'll be outed. But anyway, that's all I've got for you tonight. Thanks for joining me in the card closet. Have a great rest of your week. Bye now.